Don't say it. Go.
I am here with David Gibbons.
Yo.
He's a 2013 graduate of Benedict College. He's also a songwriter. He's an artist. He has several songs out now. Very prestigious songs that I like. Personally, I enjoy. One hit that I do love is Crush. When You Fall, you can find them all on Apple Music. The video for When You Fall, you can find it on YouTube. So check him out. So David, welcome.
Hello. What's going on?
Life. But homecoming weekend.
Life be lifing. It is homecoming weekend. Shout out to Benedict College.
Okay. Thank you for sitting on talk with me, man.
No problem.
But the past few years, like honestly, like true shit, the past, like I say about past, I'm gonna say like 4 or 5, about 3-4 years, I've been wanting to sit down and talk to you about your endeavors as an artist, as a music artist. And so what got you, what made you decide to like take it to the next step or take it mainstream?
Grief.
Grief.
A lot of grief.
Elaborate.
So, as soon as I graduated, I had family members pass like back to back. My aunt passed at graduation. We were talking about that earlier. And her sister passed in June, and my dad passed in July. And it was like I started questioning my mortality. I started questioning like everything. Like, how long do I have until I make the first move?
Okay.
And my sister, God rest her soul, Cindy, she really pushed me to do it professionally. So I started, trying to find different ways. How can I be a better singer, be a better performer? I went to Savannah College of Art and Design for like a year and a half in the performing arts program. Kind of lied to me. They told me there was a music program, but the music program was a minor instead of a major. And so I got stuck in a master's of acting program. So I have a little bit of a theater background.
Okay.
But then I left and I started just doing everything on my own. So I've been doing it by myself. And just now with help for the last 4 or 5 years.
Okay. So let's backtrack a little bit. So when did you start? Two things. When did you start singing, and when did you know that this was your thing? When did you know that you had talent for this?
I started singing at 2. My very first song was "I Will Always Love You" by Whitney Houston.
Okay.
Because I think The Bodyguard was the first movie I can actually remember. So I would always rewind the video to like the final scene of the movie just to hear the song.
Yeah.
Didn't know there was a CD at the time. But I didn't really realize my potential until I turned 14. 14 years old.
What made you realize your potential at 14?
So my dad became a pastor in 2004. I didn't want him to become a pastor. I just had to leave all my friends from my previous church and go to start a whole new church in another town. So they put me on praise team, and I had not sung for about 7 years. I got bullied out of singing when I was younger. Like, kids would tell me, like, you can't sing, you sound weird, you have a high-ass voice. It was very hurtful, and I kind of, like, shut down and didn't sing again for, like, until I was 14. And the one song that my dad, because he was so adamant about it, he wanted everyone to be impressed with, the praise team. He wanted me to sing Praise What I Do as a solo.
Yes.
And he coached me through it.
Okay.
And ever since he passed, it's become my favorite song. And I've gotten better at to where it's like a standard for me now. It's like muscle memory. But that's when I kind of knew, it's like, oh shit, I can actually do this. I can make this a thing. And even though my parents weren't really with the whole being a pop artist, they were like, you can do gospel, but you can't do pop. I kind of already knew what I wanted to be. I wanted to do pop music. I wanted to do rock. I wanted to do house music. That's kind of the realm I wanted to be in.
Okay. So you speak about your dad quite a lot. How was your relationship with your dad growing up versus when you became an adult?
Hang on. shot for that one. So let's get on with it. It was kind of like we were in the same room.
Yeah.
But we weren't connected.
Okay.
Let's put it like that. We were in the same room, but we weren't connected. It was just like we were polar opposites, you know. And it didn't feel like my life was mine.
Okay.
It just felt like I was living for him, in a sense, and always trying to fix a bridge that I didn't like the match to burn. If that makes any sense. Do we have good times? Absolutely. Do I love him? Yeah. But part of me feels like we could have been a lot closer when we were younger, and maybe that was partly my fault.
Yeah.
Maybe because I never communicated properly. But it just feel like I don't feel like we're repairing any more bridges.
Okay, so
I'm sorry we got deep here, everybody.
No.
I'm so sorry.
No. That's it's supposed to get like that. Why do you think that y'all's relationship was like that? Like, you know.
I think every father has expectations for their sons.
Absolutely.
Every father has expectations for their sons, and it becomes hard when maybe that son didn't fit those expectations, or they didn't go the path that you wanted them to go.
Yes.
And that's fine. That's fine. You know, he wanted me to live how he had planned, you know, pick the major I wanted to go, and he wanted me to go into, had all these big ideas of what he thought my life should be like. But sometimes God has other plans, you know? Mm-hmm. Sometimes God is like, hey, he's got to go on his own path and do his own thing. And that might be hard for some people.
Yes.
So again, I will always love him. I will always respect and honor him. Even sometimes I down myself, like, man, I wish maybe if I just fell in line and did exactly as they told me to. But at the same time, when you really think about it, if I did, would I truly be happy?
Okay, so question, and this might go a little deep.
No, it's fine.
But okay, so is your dad still here with us?
No.
Okay.
He passed away July 4th, 2014.
14, okay.
This year will be 10 years.
10 years, wow, okay. My condolences, sorry to hear that.
Sorry.
Okay, so let's switch gears for a minute. Okay, so you spoke about your when you decided to take music to a different level. At what point did it start to really like really go into that to the next level? Because I'm sure that you sang a lot before that, and you made music before that, but
Want me to be honest?
yes.
First time I knew that this could be a thing, I won Coast to Coast Live without having any recorded music.
What is Coast to Coast Live?
So Coast to Coast Live is a showcase that happens year round in different cities. I did the one here in Columbia, and then if you win that showcase, like your regional or your city-wide showcase, you get pushed to World Championships, which is usually in Miami. So I won with my very first song, which is a song that you love, Crush.
Crush, yeah.
I had not recorded Crush.
So, hold on. So you won with Crush, but you never recorded Crush.
I never recorded Crush.
Wow.
At that point. Can we talk about the story of Crush for a little bit?
Yes, please.
So,
Yes. I want to get into that, but not yet. But go ahead.
Crush, I wrote at my desk at work. I had just taken Crush is not my very first song. Crush is actually what I consider a debut. But the very first song was called Welcome to the Show, and I released it while I was at SCAD. And I was so green. I did not know anything. I didn't know how to do a PRO. I didn't know anything about doing the paperwork, registering. I just said, release a song. Whoever hears it, hears it. And in today's society, that's not how music works. It's not how music works. And I got really disappointed, and I said, you know what, I quit. I don't want to do this anymore.
You quit?
I quit.
Wow. How long did you quit for?
A year.
What? Wow. Okay, so what made you get back in it? Like, start back?
A movie.
What movie was it?
The Greatest Showman.
The Greatest Showman. Okay. Wow. What about The Greatest Showman that made you want to?
Just looking at how P.T. Barnum, and again, this is a fictionalized version of P.T. Barnum.
Yeah,
it was terrible.
Of course. Yeah.
But this version of P.T. Barnum, you know, he had a dead-end job.
Mm-hmm.
He had all these dreams and these aspirations, but sometimes life gets in our way, gets in the way of that.
Yes.
And, you know, you have bills to pay, you have to feed your family, and you don't really take big risks.
Yeah.
You just stick to the status quo. And I felt that. I felt like I took a risk, I took a swing. I had a whole album prior to that I made within 10 hours, which is stupid. Don't ever do that. Did not release it.
I try to remember that.
Did not release it at all. And I felt like, man, I failed. I'm a failure. And after watching the movie and actually like just sitting back, just being quiet on it, I said, let's try again. Let's try this again. But this time, let's be honest.
Okay.
Let's write real songs, real stories from our own experiences. So I sat at my desk. At the time, I was a computer teacher before I switched over to being a sped teacher.
Hey, shout out to sped teachers.
Yes, I love my sped kids. I had some planning time, and I just wrote. I found some beats and just wrote the first two songs, which was Crush and Pulse. They were both written at the same time. And I got this notification saying, come to Coast Live. You had to pay some money, but
yeah, it was
worth it.
Yeah, you invested in yourself.
And I won.
It's crazy you say that. Before you pulled up, before you called me, I was literally listening to Pulse. Literally listening to Pulse and trying to understand the story. I didn't get through it, but I was trying to understand the story. Okay, so you got Crush. Listen, you already recorded Crush.
Crush didn't get recorded until the summer of 2018.
2018.
I wrote Crush the winter of 2017. I won Coast to Coast Live Columbia March of 2018.
Oh, Coast to Coast Live Columbia. What were the incentives of winning?
Going to a world championship in Miami.
Oh, okay.
And I met a lot of top people in the industry.
Really?
Yeah, I met Wendy Day. I didn't know who Wendy Day was, but Wendy Day has done a lot. She has worked with some of the biggest artists, getting them financed, working with their management, helping independent artists set themselves up for success. I've actually auditioned really, for Sean Barron, who was the president of A&R for Atlantic Records.
Yes, I know. Yeah, I know that is.
Now I think he's over Empire? No. Yeah. No, he's not over Empire. And then I met my manager, Jay Hatch. Not my manager, but my mentor, Jay Hatch. And, you know, God rest his soul, he just passed recently due to cancer. And Hatch really was the pushing force for me to keep going. Because he gave me such good advice. And it's like, I sought after him. I was like, yo, I want to study under you, teach me how to be a better artistic entrepreneur, in a sense. Like, how do I get good at this? And he's been, up until his passing, great at helping me. Like, I wouldn't have gotten here without Hatch.
Okay.
I wouldn't have gotten here at this point.
Okay. That was something I want to ask you, man.
You can ask me anything. I'm a person of character.
So, this is what I wanted to ask you. So, now in 2024, looking back, let's say you go back to let's say you go back 14 years ago. Okay. within that time frame, do you wish you had started taking, I ain't gonna say taking music serious, but actually like turning that curve to
absolutely.
mainstream?
Absolutely. I wish I would have, but you know what? Things happen for a reason.
Yes.
Things happen for a reason. Sometimes timing does a timing thing. And you just gotta roll with the punches. I say I probably wouldn't have been as confident if I had started sooner. I had to build up to that confidence level. I had to build up to it. And now I feel like when I started noticing my growth as a writer, as a vocalist, as a entrepreneur. I say if I did not go through the things I went through, I wouldn't have known what the hell I was doing.
Okay, so we got you recorded Crush in 2018.
Recorded it?
Was that your first?
I consider it my first single. I felt it was an introduction to me.
Okay.
I really don't consider like the previous song, Welcome to the Show, like introduction to me. I kind of consider that like that was like an experiment. That was like we just tested the water. But Crush was like that's the debut. That's the one that I'm, hey, welcome. Yeah, this is the vibe we're gonna get, and the vibe evolved each and every song.
It did. From experience to listen to your music, it did evolve. And okay, so now you got Crush recorded. So what comes after Crush? Pulse. Okay.
And those were recorded at the same time.
At the same time?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Did you write them at the same time too?
Wrote them at the same time and recorded them at the same time.
So you told me, we spoke earlier off record, and you said everything happens in sequence
Mm-hmm.
with your music. What did you experience that inspired you to write these 4 records?
Crush was based on heartbreak and a one-sided love. Things I just didn't get off my chest when I was younger. And you see her over there. It was like a one-sided love that I experienced early on in my younger years, and I felt like I need to get this out of my feelings, because I feel like every guy has gone through that at least once.
Absolutely.
Every guy's gone through this at least once, where you fall for someone, you're infatuated with somebody.
Yes.
But they don't respond back. And I know nowadays, like, I will honestly tell you, I'm better with rejection now than I was back then. But sometimes that rejection can hurt, especially how people do reject you. It's not the rejection isn't the painful part. It's how somebody rejects you.
Yes.
Like, if it's like a way that they're like humiliating you, that's not cool. Like, a simple no is fine. Like,
but the humiliation, that's
the breaking point. Like, no.
So you got a record out called When I Fall, which I think is a very touching record, and walk me through the events led up to writing When I Fall.
So I needed a closer for the original part 1 to Electric Kingdom. I needed a closer. And someone sent me an instrumental where it was very melodic, and it tapped into something within me that I was like, I feel like I'm ready to talk about.
Right.
Now, this part really gets heavy. I want to talk about my suicide.
Suicide.
Or should we not say that? Should we say like unaliving?
No, man. Say suicide. It's grown. Ain't no. It's authentic talk.
I don't know if we talked about this before, but I had made multiple attempts to commit suicide.
Okay.
17. I think the last time I was like 20.
Really?
I was at Benedict. That was the last time.
David, I've been knowing you for probably about 14 years, and I've never heard you mention suicide. Like, and I understand that's a sensitive subject to a majority of people, and it's not something that you want to talk about a lot. But do you feel comfortable elaborating on your suicide attempts?
Yeah. So
And what caused it to happen? Like the trauma?
it was a lot of factors into that. Again, feeling like I wasn't what my parents were expecting.
Right.
Rejection, a lot, like not feeling accepted by people, and not finding a space for myself, and just not really loving myself. Like, didn't like how I looked, didn't like how I sounded, didn't like my body, didn't like anything. And it was just like, why am I even here? I think I would be better off if I was gone. And I think when I was 17, I lost my first attempt. I tried to slit my throat. I actually slit my wrist. On this wrist, I just have a tattoo covering it.
Okay.
And if it had not been for my sister Cindy, I would be gone. Because I say this all the time. I can go through the play-by-play things. My aunt picked me up from school. She dropped me off home. My parents were in Colombia. My job when I got home was to feed my sister because she had MS, multiple sclerosis. So she couldn't really take care of herself. So I took care of her, fed her, and normally we would sit there and just watch TV together and while I'm doing my homework.
Yeah.
But today was a little different. So I walked out and I'm just gonna check on something. I closed her door, which I normally don't do, and I locked it because I didn't want her to come out.
Yeah.
And I turned. In our house, we have these intercom speakers that play the radio. So I turned the radio on, and I turned it up really loud, just because I didn't want anybody to hear it. I just grabbed the thing that's not out of it, and I said, let's start. I chose my wrist so it would be easier.
Yeah.
So I just get the pain over with. Because that's not where I was aiming. I was aiming for my neck. But then door opened. Somehow my sister found a way to open up the lock.
Okay.
Which I'm like, that's impossible. Her hands are like this. And yeah, that kind of saved me.
Okay. I don't mean to.
No, you're fine. You're fine. It's fine.
Okay.
So when I was about, it was just about that, and it's how I overcame it. That's it.
Okay. Well, we're gonna take a brief intermission, and when we come back, I want to dive more into your artistry and your endeavors and your plans for the future as far as artistry.
Yeah. Hopefully, listen, we'll make it lighter. We'll make it lighter.
Make it lighter. Welcome back. This is KaDario Lewis, artist to artist. I'm here with David Givens, songwriter, artist, vocalist. Okay, so David,
You can add giant nerd to that.
a giant nerd also. He is a giant nerd, but I want to talk about representation. Do you have how is your representation right now? Because I know representation can be tough to get as an artist of any area, any field. Let's talk about your representation.
Let's talk about that. Let's talk about representation in pop music, which is very lacking.
Educate.
It's very lacking in pop music.
Yes.
When I mean representation of pop music, who's the first person you can think of?
Michael Jackson.
Okay. How long has it been between Michael Jackson to now?
Oh shit, it's probably been about 20 years, right?
The last Michael Jackson album would have been about 23 years ago.
Yes.
And now I'm talking about like posthumous albums.
Yeah.
We're not talking about like
This
Escape and Michael. We're talking about like
Real album.
like real, actual new material. 2001 Invincible.
Okay.
Since then, we have not had a successful black pop artist. And I know people will think, oh, Beyonce. But they always push Beyonce to R&B.
Okay.
Any artist who of color, they say, okay, alternative R&B, R&B in general, adult R&B, contemporary, when half of their music doesn't even qualify for R&B. Like, I listen to Khalid, and Khalid's not even, I don't call Khalid an R&B artist. That's a pop artist.
Right.
Doja Cat, I don't call Doja Cat a hip-hop artist. I call her a pop artist. And it's like, there's a lack of representation in that space. I feel like the last time we actually got a really good pop artist of color was Jason Derulo.
Jason Derulo, he's very talented. I listened to him since he dropped his first record.
Very talented, but he did not get the respect that he...
No, he did.
Especially not from our community.
Yes.
He didn't get the respect that he deserved. And I think that's because he came in at a really rocky time, because, you know, we were still during the fallout of the Chris Brown stuff.
Yeah, 2009,
Yeah, we were still dealing with that, so Jason got labeled as a Chris Brown copycat, and that stuck with him for like a while. But he was like our last representation of that. And I feel like how funny is it that a genre that we particularly started, like the Jackson 5 was technically like the first American pop boy band. Like the Beatles were considered a rock band.
Rock band, yeah.
But the Jackson 5 was like when you saw like pop fandemonium at like a massive scale.
Since 1970, Ed Sullivan Show.
And it baffles me how we can't even get 2 or 3 American black artists, not let alone a UK Afrobeats artist in that genre.
That's very similar to us creating The Weeknd. The Weeknd, he's also an artist.
But they push into what? R&B.
Okay, so that's similar to other genres that we created, but we don't have representation. Country music, we created country music, but we don't have
the country, rock. EDM, house music. Like,
yes.
I mean, thank you Beyonce and Drake for showing people like, hey, this is something that was popular because of black artists like Martha Walsh, Robin, CeCe Peniston, like Hathaway, Sonique. Black artists made house music pop. But now you're seeing big names like Zedd and Alesso and Tiesto and David Guetta get these pinnacles of success. But not a black artist.
Okay, so moving.
No shade to them though.
Yeah, no
shade.
No shade.
Just say.
Okay, so moving forward, where would you like to see within the next 5 to 10 years? Where do you hope to see your career take?
I want to go as big as I can go.
Okay, of course, yeah.
I want to represent not only my state, my city, my town, my community, my country, but I want to represent my people very well. I want to go as big as I can go. I want to touch every single country. I want to perform on big stages, worldwide stages. I want to sing for presidents, and princes, and queens.
Yes.
You know,
yes.
I want to blow, and I think I'm on my way there.
Okay, I think you are too. I agree. You are, because I like you have a distinctive sound, man, and you as soon as I turn on your records, I know, you know what I'm saying. Of course, I know your voice, but you have a distinctive sound, and that's one thing I want to compliment you on, and your songwriting too, man. You're a really good songwriter. But aside from that,
do you plan on producing other, not only your music, but other artists' music also?
I would love to write for other artists. I'm actually starting to learn how to produce,
Okay.
which is a totally different feel from like songwriting.
Yes, absolutely.
I'm also really good in like creative directing, so helping other artists get, you know, things together as far as their imagery
Yeah.
and stuff like that. So kind of like, I would say like a Tiana Taylor.
Oh, okay.
Kind of like Tiana Taylor is choreography, but she also has creative direction, like how everything should look, how
Yeah.
everything should flow and vibe. Kind of like in that similar vein.
Okay. Well, David Givens, I appreciate you for sitting down and talking with me today, because this is a authentic conversation I wanted to have with you, and I got authentic answers from you. I feel like I did. So, thank you, and I wish you well, all the success on your endeavors moving forward, and I hope to possibly collaborate with you in the future.
Listen, I'm always down to collaborate. I'm not a no person. It's always gonna be yes and.
Thank you, my friend, David Givens.
When is the next album?
When is your next project?
Well, first I'm gonna put the camera for this one. Electric Kingdom is out.
It's out.
It's out. It's out into the world. Been working on that album for 5 years. As far as the next album, we are currently in pre-production. We're still writing out plans. We're still working with people. I actually have people call me
Yeah.
to like really say like we could push the next project. But you're gonna have to wait for that. Right now, enjoy Electric Kingdom. Enjoy Electric Kingdom. Enjoy what's out right now. I'm celebrating its release. I'm happy. I'm enjoying myself. Yeah.
Okay. Enjoy Legend Kingdom. David Givens. Artist to artist, KaDario Lewis. Thank you.
And I will take a sip to that.